So, welcome, Deneen. This is a treat for me to be able to talk to you, Denean the Coffee Queen. So, I do appreciate your time knowing that you are a wonderful military veteran and still continue to serve others. I think that's awesome. And so, I am Angela Odom. Of course, I'm a life coach, a better you life coach, focusing on sharing life skills, like resources, practical tips. All these things are really, I'm focused on overcommitted women. Can you relate to that?
I definitely can relate to that, Angela. And thank you for having me.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. It is our treat. So for me, I help transform your mindset, career, relationships, productivity, health, fitness, and finances. I'm just really looking to help people become a better version of themselves, really focused on how do we become better. That's what it's called, Better You Life Coach. So that's enough about all of that. So we're eager to hear about you and how you became known as Denean the Coffee Queen.
Meet Denean Ambersley, better known as Denean the Coffee Queen. Denean is a coffee connoisseur and retailer specializing in healthier coffee, tea, and cocoa beverages. She is an independent global consultant with Organo, a healthier living products company with distribution in over 50 countries. Her belief is good health is slow brewed, not instant. Denean the Coffee Queen provides Ganoderma-infused coffee products to individuals, small businesses, private sectors, and corporations for their customers who are avid coffee and tea drinkers. Ganoderma-infused coffee, tea, and cocoa is the perfect way to enjoy your way to good health. Denean's vision is a simple one, and that is to serve delicious health one cup at a time. Feel free to visit Denean online at DeneanTheCoffeeQueen.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for her monthly health newsletter and also take the survey so she can better serve you and to possibly receive some delicious free samples. In the meantime, have a wonderful coffee-licious day.
So we want to give you just the opportunity really just to share with us just a little bit of your background, and then we'll go into a few questions. Is that okay?
That is okay. And thank you, Miss Angela Odom. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share. I don't want to talk long about me, but I'm going to just give a little brief history of me and how I became the Denean, the Coffee Queen. And then we can move on and talk about some better health and better you, which I absolutely love your slogan. I absolutely love your programs and your mindset training. I mean, it's been a blessing to follow you. And so we'll talk about that as we go on. But right now, and I want to let you all know that I am a military veteran. My name is Denean Ambersley, again, also known as Denean the Coffee Queen. And I've served, I like that word, served. I served in the military for 30 years, but I think that I have been a servant all my life by default. And what I mean by default, my parents, mainly my mom, always had us, she always took the children out to go do stuff for other people. And I don't know, my mom was definitely a big time giver, but she also was a person that made her children give as well, whether it be time, talents, or money. And so I knew coming up in the military, again, I served 30 years in the military and I retired. I happily retired. I did not want to be tossed out the military, so I knew that I wasn't going to do the full term. I could have done more, but I knew I didn't want to do the full term because I wanted to exit the military the right way, and I also wanted to go into business for myself. I knew that I did not want to work for someone else, and people talk about your why, and my why was I did not want to work for other people. Not that I don't like people. I love people. I love serving people, but I knew, and I have not really wrapped my mind around my skill set just yet. But Angela Odom and your mindset crew, your mindset programs, you're definitely helping me do that. I'm going to make sure that I get this whole mindset together into my health, into running my business, and to helping with my family together. And so I wanted to go into business for myself, knowing that I've always took pride into helping other people grow. I always took pride into helping organizations grow and be a better organization. Like that was who I was. You can call me the cleanup woman. I love going into an organization that wasn't quite there yet. You know, you can always leave your mark if you do something from scratch. And so I remember joining the military and asking the recruiter, did they have business? Did you have a business? I guess MOS. And he just laughed at me and said, we got some HR going on. So go over there and you can wear your Class A uniform. That's your dress uniform. And you can do that all day. And I just thought that was right down my alley, but that didn't work out so well. So anyway, I came to myself and I said, okay, I'm going to do these 20 years, if you will. And then I got to the 20 years and life got easier and money got better. And so I said, I'll do 10 more years. Because remember, I did not want to go to work for someone. That's something I knew I did not want to do. Not that I believe that they didn't pay me enough, but believe me when I tell you, Angela, in the military, I got paid well, but I felt like I was underpaid. And so I knew in business that you can set your own income. You can set your own profits. You can set your own losses. It's all up to you. And I know that I was a worker. I love to work. So I decided to go into business for myself, Angela, and an audience. And as I became the Denean The Coffee Queen, the opportunity came to me to sell some coffee. And I didn't drink coffee a lot. I drink like 1 cup in the wintertime. I drink 1 cup a day in the wintertime. But as I saw the program for coffee, the bells and whistles just went off about how many people drink coffee and or tea. And I read a quote one day by this man, but he said, what you like to do should be your hobby, and what others like to do should be your business. So I'm not a big coffee drinker. However, I knew over 400 billions with a B cups of coffee is consumed every single day, 2 and 3 times a day. I said, bingo. So that's why I chose coffee. So enough about me. And his name is Warren Buffett.
That's right. I like that. I like that. And so, well, you took us right into the your why for why you served as long as you did, and thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you.
And then how you came to be a business owner. Is there any particular actionable steps our viewers can take if they are thinking about becoming a business owner? Is there anything you might recommend?
One of the things I would like for viewers to know or have knowledge of is that if you are an entrepreneur, you have that spirit within you. Never quit. Never, ever, ever quit. I read this thing about, they call it the universe, but I like to call it God. I read this thing. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of reading and self-development. So that's number one. Do a lot of self-development. Don't just snatch everything that looks good and sounds good. But you're going to have to kind of sort of train yourself on growth in business. Yes, you can go and get your MBA, and I do not have an MBA, by the way. I have a degree as a social worker, so that don't go together. But you can go and get your degree, from school with an MBA degree. But at the same token, entrepreneur is a spirit that lives inside of you all by itself. It really does. And if that's something that you desire to do, never quit. The result will be magnificent. So never quit is that one tool or tip I would like to leave.
I love that. I love it. Mm-hmm. I love it. Mm-hmm. And some people I've noticed get confused with pain and being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And so never quit. I love that. Just keep moving. Mm-hmm. Okay. Denean the Coffee Queen. I love that title. So can you just talk to us about the benefits of coffee, the benefits of tea? What are they?
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people love coffee and or teas. And coffees and teas, believe it or not, it's really, really good for you. Some of the benefits is that it balances your pH levels. That's one of the benefits. I mean, I have a whole list of them. It definitely provides energy. Okay. It oxygenates the body. It gives you this energy that you need to get up and go. And the bad part about coffees and teas is that when you start adding stuff to it, research have shown, like I don't make any medical claims, right? But research have shown that coffee and or teas is really good for our bodies. And if you think about it, because it was grown from the earth, anything that was grown from the earth is good for our bodies. God intended us to eat from the earth. Coffees and teas. Teas is a leaf. Coffees is a ground for bean from the earth, and it was intended for us to consume. Well, when you start adding sugar and honey, I'm just going to say sugar, creamers and sugars. When you start adding the wrong things to our coffees and teas, I'll tell you, I'm here to share with you. It makes it not so good. I like to say, be careful not to drink diabetes in a cup. And I know I want the listeners to know this, Angela. I really want them to know this. See, I serve coffees and teas, but I like to look at it as a healthier alternative. When you add sugars and teas, you're adding to your A1C numbers. So you want to be very, very careful, especially as you grow older. Sugar is addictive. And I know you didn't ask about sugar, but I want your viewers to know this. Sugar is addictive, and that is why you see laundry lines of people outside of our local coffee stores and shops. Why? Because they put all that sugar inside of your coffees and teas, and it tastes delicious. Pumpkin spice, I absolutely love it. But I can make my own now that I understand how to take coffee and or teas that's already healthy all by itself. But a lot of people don't like straight coffee or straight tea, so we got to add our own little spices. Angela, I want the viewers to know that you can buy your own spices, right? And you can infuse your coffees and teas with some healthier products to make it taste a little bit better. Coffee is good for us because it came from the earth.
All right. And so we have the opportunity, since we're talking to Denean the Coffee Queen, to perhaps you can tell us some of the best spices to use to add a little flavor as opposed to dumping all the sugar into our coffee. So we just start with the basic black, or you have a specific kind?
Well, I want to recommend the basic black. If you are a coffee and or tea drinker, I want to start with the basic coffees and or teas. Don't add anything to it first. If you already drink coffee and you know how you love your coffee with a pound of sugar in it. I got that. I understand. But remember, that is addictive, and that causes problems with a whole lot of health problems. It does. But if you remember, I said earlier, coffee and teas is good for your body. It's from the earth. So let's just say pumpkin spice. I started out with that. I go to the store. I buy me some McCormick's. I buy, I'm glad you asked. I buy pumpkin spice. I buy mint. So I make mint teas and coffees. I buy honey. It's so many creamers and sugars out there, but you got to be careful and always read your labels. And Angela, I have to give this back to you when I say always read your labels. Better Health, Better You. I have to say they have definitely changed my mindset and just picking something off the shelf. Now I'm a secret shopper, and I intentionally go to the store, intentionally go to the coffee and tea section, intentionally pick up certain spices and or coffees and teas, intentionally turn it over and start reading the back of it. And what's funny is coffee and tea all by itself, 0 sugars. Okay, 0 sugars. It's when you start adding those flavors to it. And so, as I said, you can buy your own latte. You can buy your sugar-free anything. Everything comes sugar-free. You can buy latte, sugar-free latte creamer. You can buy all kinds of flavors. And so I can't limit it to which ones, but I would recommend that you just go to, next time you're in Target, the next time you are in Walmart, or next time you are in any retail store, not the coffee shops. See, the coffee shops even got something they're going to fool you with called skinny coffee and skinny tea. Well, you know me. I went and did my little research on skinny coffee and skinny tea, and they still add the milk. The milk has the, carbohydrates. The milk still has the carbs inside of it that's going to cause you to bloat a little bit or just gain weight or whatever you want to call it. It's just not good for you. And so you have to take your time. If you're a coffee and or tea drinker, you have to take your time and recognize, first and foremost, what am I drinking right now? When you look to see how much sugars are in your coffees and or teas, it will surprise you. And then you can say, well, you know what? I want to change my coffee so that I can change my life. That's one of my taglines. Change my tea so that I can change my life. And Angela and audience, I just want you all to know there is an alternate way of drinking coffees and or teas that's more healthy.
Oh, I love that. And as you were saying that, I of course, hosting the Better Health, Better You community, where we're just simply, focusing on getting back to healthy. And you mentioned sugar being addictive a few times, and we know that when we are reading the food nutrition labels, the facts labels, that we know that when we look on that thing, we see OSE. And so we know, there's a hidden sugar right there. And so in milk, when you mentioned that, I was thinking lactose. Okay, lactose. That's what she's talking about. Got me all excited. I love reading labels.
Absolutely.
I love it. And so now I just want to circle back really quickly, because you just said, did you say choose your coffee, choose your life, or change your coffee, change your life?
Change your coffee, change your life. See, I don't want people to stop drinking coffee because they think it's bad for them. Coffee is not bad for you. Again, science says, research says that. Research says coffee is good for you. And if you know anything about the way we should eat, remember, the coffee comes from the earth. The coffee comes from the ground. So anything that comes from the ground comes from the trees. The teas come from the tea leaves. Anything that comes from those two things, it's not bad for you. It's the things that we add inside of the coffees and teas that just makes it horrible. And it makes it taste good. But remember, that's a part of the trick. The trick is to get you to add the sugars. The sugar is addictive. And now you keep pounding sugar inside of your coffees and teas and believing that it tastes good. But I can guarantee you, you can acquire a delicious cup of coffee if you made it to your own taste from your own ingredients. So change your coffee, change your life.
To change I don't even drink coffee. I love tea. I'm gonna go get me some of that. What you call
spice.
It? Pumpkin
Absolutely.
spice. Pumpkin spice. Okay, absolutely. I'm gonna try some pumpkin
tea.
Spice.
Yes.
Oh, it even sounds good. So, so what about caffeine? What's the impact of caffeine on our bodies?
Okay, good question. Good question. Now we all know that caffeine is the ingredient that gives you the jitters. Right? We know that caffeine is the thing that gives you the boost of energy, but sometimes it may be two things. You can overdo cups of coffee. So it's a recommended amount of coffee you should drink a day. And believe it or not, it's only 2 or 3. And it's 4-ounce cups. I remember, Angela, you put on one of your posts a cup of coffee. It had the 4-ounce, it had the 6-ounce, it had 8-ounce, the 9-ounce, and maybe like the 16, like the grande, the big one. And the grande is small. See how they trick us in the stores? Grande is the small one. And so I looked at that thing and I said, wow, the recommended amount of coffee is 4 ounces. 4 ounces of caffeine is still good for you, research says. I don't know that to be true, as in I didn't do anything but read the research and report the research. But research says that 4 cups of coffee, and that's an old cup. That's not the normal cup that we sell today. You remember a cup in a saucer? You know that's the only cup that you're supposed to be. If you say cup of anything, that is the cup. Now, we went and bought these new fancy cups, and that is approximately 6 to 8 ounces of coffee and or teas. And remember, the recommended amount of coffee is 2 cups a day. But they're talking about little saucer cups. They're not talking about the big giant cups.
That's like an aha moment right there. Just because we supersize so much now, and so that makes perfect sense. So the coffee, the amount of coffee my grandparents drank, and the amount of coffee we see people drinking now is the serving sizes are definitely different now. Yes. So just another question is, what age, like at a certain age, you're able to drive your vehicle. At a certain age, you can go into the Army. At a certain age, you could smoke. I don't recommend smoking at all, anything. But I do want to know, is there a certain age that people start drinking coffee? And I mean,
absolutely. It's funny that you would ask that. Here in America, from my generation, our grandparents used to tell us we couldn't drink their coffee. They said it was stuck our growth. We couldn't smoke cigarettes and we couldn't drink coffee. However, the coffee used to smell so good, we couldn't wait till they are not in the kitchen, and we'd go get that silver thing that was the silver pot off the stove, or either we'll take the saucers and sip the coffee out the saucers. We would try to get it just because they said we couldn't have. Now, when we're talking about coffee, you have to ask yourself, or one would have to ask themselves, why do I even drink coffee? Well, it's my experience that tells me that people drink coffee to get that boost, to get a boost of energy to start their day. Now, we're only talking about in America because guess what? When we visit other countries, it's a whole different story. So right now, we're only talking about America. So I don't have a formal recommendation that I read, but what I do have is a recommendation that I believe is true. If you are in high school, I believe that's a good age to start a cup of coffee. And when I say start, just to see if you like it. Just to see if you like it. So high school, because you have tests you have to take, you trying to get something to stimulate your mind and keep you focused. And these are the things that coffee does. Coffee is just not a luxury. Coffee is actually so healthy for you. It can help you maintain clarity. I mean, when I say coffee, let me say this too, Angela, because I heard you said you don't drink coffee, you drink tea. And so when I use the term coffee, please let that be interchangeable with tea. Okay, so I'm talking to my tea drinkers. I'm not gonna leave you out. It's just that I always refer to coffee, and I came about Denean the Coffee Queen because it rhymes. That's all. I just was doing my little rapping thing, Denean the Coffee Queen came out. So back to the age thing. So I would recommend not allowing anyone that's not in high school to taste coffee. I just would recommend that because they don't need it. What do they need it for? They probably already hype their children, so let them go outside and play, run around. That's enough energy. But in terms of getting some clarity, staying focused, getting that boost of energy, I recommend coffee and tea. Remember, I said we're going to do it interchangeable. I recommend coffee and tea can be started in high school. Now, when we go back to other countries, it is known, okay, especially Asian countries, that the children, not babies, but children, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, they drink coffees and tea, literally tea. They drink tea. I'm not going to say when they come out the womb, but like at 3, 4, 5 years old. So it's always up to the parent. And when I say always now, high school, kids get exposed to stuff outside their homes. But if you want to expose your children to coffees and or teas, I recommend you do it in the home. I recommend that you do some research on what type of coffees and or teas they're drinking. Because remember, green tea is the #1 healthiest tea in the world. So yes, we want our children to drink healthy products, so we can make them some iced tea that's green tea and let them start drinking. So I would say here in America, in terms of coffee, I would allow them to drink coffee in high school. In terms of tea, I would let them drink iced tea from the time they get thirsty. But I would also make sure they drink more water than any other beverage that's out there.
All right. So we're coming to a close for our interview right now, our discussion. Is there any question I should have asked? I was all excited about the benefits, and you just knocked that thing out of the park and gave us really some good insight, especially on focusing on America and what we do in the world and the benefits. And I love the answer about the kids and when they should start really in the home with the parents, as with everything really. So that makes perfect sense to me. And so is there anything else you want to make sure we discuss?
How much time do we have, Angela? And that's an honest question.
Also, let's do another.
Okay, I don't need that much time. I just wanted to know to be respectful of the time.
What I wanted to let the viewers know, because I really want them to take a look at what they're already drinking. My reason for going into selling coffee is based off of the statement and the presentation that I got earlier from Warren Buffett, and then a friend of mine who invited me to a presentation about coffee. But I ventured off, and I don't just sell one brand of coffee. But I want the viewers to take a real good look at what they are drinking. And I want them to do this because of the health components of coffee versus what they are already doing. Angela, I can't plead to America enough, or the world enough, to be mindful of the coffee and teas that you're putting in your bodies. And again, it's not the coffee and the tea that's a problem. It's the additives. And so if we go to these local coffee houses, it's okay to get black. It's okay to get green tea. You're speaking it when you ask for anything else off of that menu. And I'm not going to make any claims on any particular coffee house because it doesn't matter. All of the coffee houses sell wonderful coffee. I mean, I go to the coffee house, okay? I purchase off of the menu. Not often. I normally take my bags with me. But I purchase off of the menu. But after my health challenge, after my weight gain, after coming into knowledge about healthier lifestyle, the coffee house is one of the most dangerous places. Now, not the coffee. I want to be clear because I don't want you to stop going to the coffee house. I don't want you to stop patronizing the coffee house. I just want you to be mindful of what's on that menu versus how you can create. Hey, take your own pumpkin spice to the coffee house. Order you some black. Order you some green tea. Right? Because I do want you to still patronize them. But I want you to be very mindful of the sugar intake. Angela, I read it for myself. 29 grams of sugar and a cup of coffee. Come on now. Come on, audience. That's not good for you. And then if you're 20, if you're 30, if you're 35, and you're like, oh, I don't have to worry about that, you know. But once you're like 50, and I'm talking to women right now, and your body lines up with the moon, and y'all know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's going to happen to you. Your body lines up with the moon, and you have that much sugar inside your body. I don't want you to expect something good to happen. So I want you to start taking care of yourself now. I'm not going to tell you all to stop drinking coffees and or teas. I'm just going to say be mindful of the coffee and or teas that you're drinking and what's added into it. So that's what I want to leave everyone with, a better, healthy lifestyle of their coffees and or teas.
Oh, that's fantastic advice. And so with that, now how can we get in contact with you?
Oh, that is easy. Remember, Denean The Coffee Queen. I'm on all platforms. But let me go ahead and spell my first name. I spell D-E-N-E-A-N. Denean. D-E-N-E-A-N. But if you mess it up and you put Denean The Coffee Queen anywhere that you try to spell it, you're still going to pop up. And so you can get in touch with me on my website, www.deneanthecoffeequeen.com. You can email me at info@deneanthecoffeequeen.com. And you can contact me via telephone at area code 803-602-5358.
Okay, and so we can find you on all of the social media platforms, and you gave us a phone number, Denean the Coffee Queen. And so what will we be asking? What do you actually sell?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. So, Angela and viewers, I sell coffees and or teas. I sell a healthier alternative to what you're already drinking. That is my tagline. And I do that by selling organic coffees and or teas. Organic coffees and or teas. But I also have services. I'm also adding gift services and a mobile coffee service. So for my local people, if you would like to get in touch with me and kind of what type of services, mobile coffee concierge services I serve, please contact me on my website. But in regards to my coffees, I sell 7 flavors of coffee. We can go down the list, or you can just go to my website because it's too much to list. You can go to my website and find out all those great things. I also serve, this is the holiday season, I also sell gift baskets. I sell gift baskets and gift certificates. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't just come to you with a whole host of services to serve you well with your coffees and or teas. Just get in touch with me and let's have that conversation about what you want to do in terms of changing the type of coffees you drink. Of course, I'm going to recommend that you drink my coffee, but it is not about me. So if you just want to stay with the coffee houses, I told you, I don't want you to stop patronizing them. If you absolutely love the coffee houses, I mean, I say that because people have told me that. I am not changing. This is the only coffee I drink. Okay, no worries. I want you to take a look at what they're dumping into that cup and just have them to change that up a little bit. That's all.
So if we wanted to just get a gift basket as, for a stocking stuffer for someone, is there a particular place I can go? Because it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And so I want to go ahead and get these things done early. So is there a particular place I can go right now? And I'll encourage our audience to do the same. So where would we go right now to get one of those gift baskets? Will it be delivered or mailed, or what do we need to do?
So I'm glad you asked. So right now, today, if you would like to get a gift basket, I want you to go to my website, www.deneanthecoffeequeen.com. And what I just did last week, I took the gift basket photos down because I'm upgrading my website. But if you put in the contact information, what you would like to have, then you write that in there. Then I'm looking for a gift basket with this price range, or either just contact me so we can talk about it. Because my gift basket, Angela, are made to order. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, you want to give your pastor and his wife a gift basket for Christmas, and the theme of their church is purple. You know, everybody loves purple. I would intentionally, and then you tell me something else about your pastor and your first lady. I would intentionally create that gift basket to order. This is not a cookie cutter gift basket. You can go into any retail store and get gift baskets right now. And if that's what you like, hey, more power to you. But if you would like a designed gift basket, now I have to warn you, Angela, they won't fit in a stocking stuffer. Okay, I have to warn you that. Now we have types of coffee that will fit, but not the gift baskets themselves. But at the same token, if you would like to have a custom-made gift basket to order for whomever that's special in your life, Denean The Coffee Queen is where you want to start. Again, just get in contact with me on my website.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time today. And so you've given us really your why in the beginning of how your parents, your mom, stressed being of service to others. And you also really talked to us about your 30 years of military service and the fire that was inside of you becoming an entrepreneur. And I mean, Denean The Coffee Queen, I love that whole thing. It's like, okay, if I want to talk about some coffee, if I want to know the benefits of it, I know where to go. I know where to go, Denean The Coffee Queen. And since I'm a tea lover, not necessarily coffee, then I love the fact that you don't leave the tea drinkers out. That's good stuff. Thank you for thinking about the tea drinkers. I will be trying that pumpkin spice. I'm gonna try that out. And McCormick. Okay, I will be doing that. And so for us right now, we know we're going to info at DeneanTheCoffeeQueen.com if you want to send an email, and then we'll definitely just go to www.DeneanTheCoffeeQueen and .com. So we know we can do that. And you're on Facebook. Are you on Twitter and you on Instagram?
I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on LinkedIn.
All right. Well, with that, I'm just going to give you the opportunity to close us out, and then I'll come back and end it after that.
Okay. Well, again, Angela, thank you so much for having me on your show this morning. I hope that I was able to bless someone and have them to go back and look at the types of coffee and or teas that they're drinking. I did not mention cocoa, but understand I do serve cocoa as well. And cocoa is very popular in the wintertime. As a matter of fact, I'm on my way to a high school to speak to some junior achievers. And I'm going to take them some free cocoa because they're children, and children love cocoa. I want to also say to the viewers, I truly appreciate you all taking your time out of your busy schedule to join us this morning and learn just a little bit more about coffee and or teas. In the meantime, in between time, this is Denean The Coffee Queen coming to you live here from Columbia, South Carolina. I serve a delicious, healthier alternative to what you are already drinking.
Well, thank you so much. And so for me, I'm Angela Odom, and of course, I'm your Better You life coach. And we're looking at, better finances, better you, business, better you, better, productivity, health, fitness, all those things. We're really helping to transform women to a better version of themselves. And we want to thank you so much for giving us your time today. Denean, thank you. We're going to ask our viewers to follow me on YouTube and for other actionable and relevant life skills content. And so we're on, for me, you can definitely go to angelaodom.com. And if you're on Facebook, then you join me there. If you're on Instagram or Twitter or Google Plus and Pinterest, just look for Angela M. Odom, and we will definitely meet you there and greet you with a smile, because we're both simply seeking to be a better version of ourselves. Thank you very much, and be encouraged.